My favorite episode of The Neighborhood was one that featured Margaret Hamilton.
One of the movies that she played in was called The Wizard of Oz, and she played the part of the Wicked Witch of the West.
There were a lot of stories that I've heard from adults even saying how much that movie has scared them when they were watching it as a child. And they say, as a matter of fact, I'm still scared watching it as an adult. So I mentioned to Fred, Fred wrote his own material. I said, you know, maybe there's something we can do about scary images, which is being part of that. And as a matter of fact, Margaret Hamilton is a big fan of the program because she watches with her grandchildren. I had read a letter that she wrote to the TV magazine in New York City, where she lived, and she watched that public station. And he said, Fred said to me, well, if you can find Margaret Hamilton, I'll write the script. So she came on, we found her, I found her, and she came on, and she brought, or we had for a costume that looked like the one she wore in the movie, and she came in her civilian clothes but put it on.
It's helping me just to see you get into these things.
Oh, well, I'm glad.
To know that you're a real lady who got dressed up to play this part.
The purpose of the whole episode is that it helped children know that it was pretend.
Girls and boys like to play witches.
Yes,
don't
they do. Yes, they certainly do.
And when you feel as if you'd like to play something a little bit scary, a witch is a fine thing to play.
She said, in fact, looking at the camera, she said, you know, I'm not a scary person, but I'm an actress, and that's my job. And that's what I do for a living. And in this one movie, I pretended that I was a witch.
Oh, there's your old friend, the Wicked Witch of the West.
How did she talk?
Well, she talked like this. It's very nice to see you.
Oh, that would be fun to be able to talk like.
She became such a good friend after the taping. And when our second son was born, she lived in New York, and she knew that he was born, and she flew to Pittsburgh for the day to see him. And the funny part about that whole story is that I picked her up at the airport, took her home, and she was in our living room holding our son, and the phone rang. And it was our neighbor saying, did I just see the Wicked Witch of the West go into your kitchen? And yes, you did, and I explained what was going on. But that's my favorite segment.
Come back here for a visit too, will you?
I
will. Witches are the best things. Toot toot, dears.
Toot toot, Lady